Welcome back into our stock contractor spotlight. I'm Andrew Rosario, part of the team here at the PRCA social media team, and I'm able to sit down with newly inducted Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer Sammy Andrews. Sammy, how are you doing today, sir?
Andrew, doing great. We're out here at Salt Lake City and enjoying the heat.
Oh, gotcha. Are y'all at the Days of 47 rodeo? What rodeo are you at right now?
Yes, sir. The days of 47.
Awesome, awesome. Well, this kind of, looking back about a little bit over a week ago at the induction, tell us a little bit about that experience and how much fun it was and what it was like for you.
Oh, it's a dream come true. Something you never thought you would make it. Usually you're passed on by the time you get to the Hall of Fame. And maybe they're trying to tell me I'm getting old or something. But gosh, dog, it was so nice. And to be in with the class of 2024 is just so special. I mean, it was what a great bunch of people they put in, and it made you feel very humble to be a part of it.
Yes, sir. I was actually able to work that event and watch your induction, and I think a lot of us would agree. It was a long time coming. It was something that you were 100% deserved of, and honestly, a little bit of us were surprised that it took this long for you to get in. So it was
Yeah, my bull beat me there 25 years.
Yes, sir. And it's kind of a great segue, talking about that bull. You were known for your third generation stock contractor. You were brought up in the rodeo world, but I guess the thing that you're known more for most is Mr. Dodge Bodacious. Tell us a little bit about that bull, what made that bull special, and as well, what was his personality like outside of the arena?
Well, Bo, we got him from Phil Sumner when he was coming a 3-year-old, and he was slab sided, and the first place we took him to was a little open bull riding, and they rode him there. And with the next place we stopped was at the Houston Astrodome, and Cody Lambert drew him, and he jerked Cody down and gave him a shaving scar. So that's kind of where his reputation got started, and it only grew from there. But Bo opened a lot of doors for us, and he was an amazing athlete. And as far as his personality goes, you had to respect him. I mean, he wasn't bad and going to come hunt you down, but you sure couldn't just walk in there and be amongst him because it was his territory, and he was the king of the run right there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, one thing I've heard about Bodacious is he knew when it was time to shine. He knew when it was the lights were on and it was time to go out there and perform. And that was one thing that I guess that made him special is he knew when to turn it on. What else in regards to making him the bull that he was. I know he had that really good move where he would jerk down and use his hump a lot to try to bug people off. But was there anything else besides just like his try and willing to go out there and be an athlete that made him special?
Well, he was kind of like a big linebacker that had the speed of a running back. I mean, he was a freak of nature, really. He could do stuff that other bulls couldn't do, and he got so high in the air. I know you're standing; you got to be 8, 9, 10 foot in the air, and at times I could see his belly when he'd leave the chutes. He'd get so high in the air, and he just he was just had it all. I mean, it was everything you wanted in a bucking bull.
That's awesome. And then kind of talking more into more into livestock and kind of the more modern stock. I found when I was doing my research for this interview, I found a really, really cool stat for this year. So for this year, for you to be successful on a Sammy Andrews bull, you have a 15% chance of not getting bucked off, which I thought was astounding. 85% of the time, people are getting bucked off a Sammy Andrews bull. And that's kind of
Well,
what I talk about some of the stock that you have going out this year. We all know about All or Nothing. He was here at the NFR, and Sage Newman won the NFR Open. Excuse me, the NFR Open won the NFR Open on him for 88 points. But two bulls that I wanted to talk about that stand out to me was Coyote Train and Shockazooloo. What can you tell us about those bulls, and what do you expect them going down the road
well,
before?
well 926 Shockazooloo is bull rider's dream. I mean, he's part of that 15% they get by. They love this bull. He just as honest as he can be. He's going to turn right back there to the left And every time I say that, he'll go the right every once in a while, but 90% of the time he's going left. He's got enough kick to keep him picked up on the rope, and he's a bull rider's dream. And what was the other one you asked about? Oh,
Uh,
Calvary train.
yes.
And well, he's a little stouter. They don't ride him that much, but he's really gets in the air and has a lot of kick, and he's got a lot of whip to him. So he's not exactly what they, but Shockazooloo, they love that bull.
And besides those bulls and that life and that horse all or nothing, what other livestock should we be keeping an eye out on down the road that you may expect to be there in December in Las Vegas?
Well, I think bar 17, Ice Tray, it will be there. He was there last year, and but maybe bar two, bar four. These are 4-year-old bulls, and they've really stepped it up. And in the horse riding, we got 557 and bareback horse, Empty Promises. It's really come on great. And of course, H09 Brutus and 810 American Hats Positive Times. And 154 Cash and Carry into bareback riding. And 39 Fresno. They won a second here at Salt Lake on her and around.
Awesome. That's awesome. So I kind of wanted to go a little bit back to the beginning of the Andrews Pro Rodeo Company, kind of get a little bit of the history behind it. You are a third generation stock contractor, something your dad and your grandfather did. But what was it like for you growing up in the rodeo world? You did a little bit of, I believe, steer wrestling, and then you also did some pickup man work as well. Tell us a little bit about kind of what brought or what made you love rodeo so much back then, besides just something that your family did.
I don't know. I guess it got in my blood early. I remember putting marbles in a little old truck and hauling them around. That was my bareback horses and my bulls back in those days. And uh, bigger I got bigger toys. I tried riding bareback horses and bulldogs some, and I had success in college. But when it come time to step it up, all I was added money. I wasn't that good, where I could get by, but never won anything. But and how picking up when we was kids, everybody thought they could ride bulls and horses. And I remember there we had a little old one shoot arena there at the house and made out of wood and stuff. And it wouldn't be but three of us, somebody getting on one, opening the gate, and I'd have to flank and jump off and jump off the flank board and get on my pickup horse and go pick them up. Normally, all you had to do is trip the flank, but every once in a while, somebody would make it. And that's how I kind of got started. I got started working in the calf and steer pen, and the bigger I got the flank bulls and horses, and then eventually I started picking up, and I picked up for 45 years, and that's one thing I really enjoyed about rodeoing. And I had a sidekick with me, Jackie Gray, picked up nearly 45 years with me, and uh, when you work with somebody that much, you kind of it just comes natural to you. You know where they're going to be, but and it makes it real simple. But I had the pleasure of working for Harry Vold and Mike Survey some, and got to pick up some big rodeos and work with a lot of different people. And it was, I don't know, picking up was one of the most enjoyable things I did in rodeo.
That's awesome. Yeah, and people, I don't know if people understand like how important that job is as well, because the safety of the Cowboys is in your hands, and you're there to kind of be like their guardian angel, so they don't get hurt or get hung up. So that's like such an important job that I feel people overlook a little bit. And kind of a good segue as well. You mentioned Mike Servey and Harry Vold. Obviously, you worked with them early on in your career. Just tell me a little bit about, those guys and how instrumental they were to the success of your career and what they did for you whenever you were younger.
Well, I really appreciate Mr. Vold and Mike Survey, Benny Butler, and Mr. Neil Gay. When we first got our card, they accepted me and let me go right to the big rodeos. I mean, first year we was at all the big ones with them, and I owe a lot to our success to those four guys because a lot of times they won't let a new guy in, but we'd been selling Mike and Harry bulls for years, and they kind of knew what we had because that's how we was getting by. And and still today, if we don't sell bulls, we don't get by in the rodeo business. But it'd be nice to keep all the goodness, but we have to sell to make ends meet. But I really enjoyed having the opportunity to be around those folks. And in this business, you never get through learning, and that those were some of the best to learn from.
Yeah, yes, sir, of course. And that was one thing I took away from your induction speech as well, as you mentioned that, in the rodeo world, you have to surround yourself with great people to be successful. And I think that the rodeo world is just it's just full of great people, especially like from what I've experienced from my perspective, there's a lot of great, humble people in the world of rodeo that just want to help. And it's very not very rare, but it's rare in some professions where people they not only want the success of themselves, but they want the success of the people around them as well. And uplifting each other is something that I love about the rodeo world. And one thing that I um, have been kind of thinking about, and something that I learned during this research is the power of legacy as well. Like everybody that I've spoken to in regards to whether it be a cowboy that's had a father done it, or a stock contractor that's had their father do it. It's all about carrying that legacy and making sure that you're holding yourself to the standard that the person before you held. So what is the standard, and what does it mean for you to be able to carry on the Andrews Rodeo Company, and then passing it on to your son as well, who also helps run some of the operations behind the scenes?
Oh, it means everything. You're only as good as your reputation, and like I said, if you don't surround yourself, if you got a rodeo company and you don't have good people working for you, you won't last long. Because I don't care what position they are, when you're at a rodeo, they represent you,
Mhm.
and you sure want people that don't embarrass you or tear something up and trash it out and make a mess out of it. So you want them to be. We try and keep good people. Well, we have to. If not, because the committees work so hard. They take time off from their families. They take time off from their jobs or vacation to be there, and you want them to want you back and be around good people. And it's sure nice whenever they come and say, man, you had a good crew, we want you back.
Yes, sir. And this is kind of a question that I've always wondered and would always wanted to ask a stock contractor like yourself. But one thing that I love about the livestock, and I've taken an affinity to the livestock here at the rodeo company, is they're athletes. A lot of people don't understand the power and the speed and the athleticism of these animals until you honestly see it, whether it be live in person or on the Cowboy Channel. And one question I had is, what means more in the bucking business, the try in the animal, or the bloodline, the talent of the animal?
Well, it kind of both. I don't know how you'd separate it, but I mean, if they're not bred right, you can't make them buck.
Mhm.
And just because one brother bucks, don't mean this next brother's going to buck either. But it's a trying operation, and all you can do is just try and put them in the right place, get them shoot broke where you can handle them, where they don't kill themselves off and waste too much energy in the shoot,
Mhm.
and just try and improve a few things on them. But if they're not bred to buck, well, you're not going. You can't make them, so they're going to do what they want to do. But a lot of people say they train them. I don't know if you can how you train one, but you sure help. You got to get them shoot broke, and that's the main thing to me is getting them shoot broke where they stand, and the animals have to. That way, they're not wore out when it comes time to open the gate.
Yes, sir. Well, that's essentially all the questions I had, Mr. Sammy Andrews. It's honestly an honor to be able to talk to you. Whenever I first came to the PRCA back last November, I immediately gravitated towards bull riding because it was something that I had an interest in, affinity, and I was asking around the office, like, who's the baddest bull? Who's the baddest bull in the industry in the history of the PRCA? And the one name that always kept coming up was Bodacious, Bodacious. So it was so nice to be able to kind of just deep dive into the research of who Bodacious was, his outs with Tough Heaterman, and that whole kind of storyline throughout the NFR, and then even get to learn about you, and then kind of being able to meet you in person at the NFR Open. It was a real honor and a dream come true, and I'm so happy I was able to have this interview with you and talk to you a little bit more about, your life and some of the things that we should be expecting from the Andrews Rodeo Company going down the road. And I'm just excited to see what y'all have coming soon. And I can't wait to see what y'all have coming to Las Vegas here in December. But other than that, sir, it's been an honor to be able to talk to you and a great time meeting you. And I hope you have a wonderful day and good luck there at the Days of 47 Rodeo and everything else coming up in your future.
Well, thank you, Andrews. Pleasure meeting you and enjoyed it. And man, what an honor it was to be there at Colorado Springs.